that made it worse. They keep just making it worse and worse.
What do you hear?
I'm trying, like yesterday the light was where it was supposed to be, but today it's just like that light thing is like right in the way, and I think it's not helping. I'm just gonna move it down here because it's better to have it right where I need to work than
Yeah.
you know, getting in the way of my life. And then I won't have to worry about that next time because, well, next time. It's happening. I don't understand what's happening. Oh, and that light's not on, which is helpful. Well, hello, Maggie. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, this paintbrush is not helpful anymore. Huh. Need a different crappy brush. Guess I could use this one.
Do you keep your chat up while you're doing that?
Yeah, but I don't think it's current. I don't get a feel that it's awfully current.
Okay.
So, doing this wash again, and it's still looking like it's looking again like a candy cane. Trust the process, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is exactly what I did last time with similar results. And now this is just, you know, even more watered down wash. Still looks like a candy cane.
I'm sorry, I have no idea how to help you.
No, it's okay. I just gonna keep going. Layer it up, I guess. But I don't like all of these wash that's gone down to the bottom, and I don't want that bottom red, so it's not like blood, even the viscosity.
I suppose. Looks a little thin for blood.
No, blood is really thin
Okay.
in quantities. People think it's all thick because it oozes and stuff, but it's actually super thin.
Hmm. Maybe your blood is thin. Just kidding.
Huh?
I was just said maybe your blood is thin. I don't know what that means.
It must mean I'm cruel.
Well, I think if it were to mean anything, which it doesn't, for the record, it might mean that you're weak.
Weak. I
Yeah,
have
you got
thin,
weak blood.
I have thin blood.
Thin blood. You can't anything.
Yeah, I can't do anything because of my thin blood.
Yeah. Those wheat seeds come from. Wheat seeds.
Well, it doesn't look as much like a candy cane as it did before.
You should hold it closer to the camera when you're showing it off.
Well, I can't move it because the wash is so liquid that it'll just like, when it dries, I will.
Cool.
But for now, I'm just gonna move it off to the side and focus on this other little character. And I don't even really know what colors. What color should I do this little guy in? The picture?
Is it the guy with the staff?
Yeah, look at the picture on the back. It's so dark.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Well, no. But I don't know.
Well, you can do whatever you want. I mean,
I suck at this part. There's marmalade on my surface. Damn peanut butter sandwich.
Delicious marmalade.
I like marmalade a lot.
Well, why don't you do some sort of theme, right? Can I have the figure? Can I see the figure itself? I mean, he's got like an overcoat. Why don't you make him like a sun warrior and give him like orange
Sun
and yellow
warrior.
and yellow and brown,
I could do that.
and then give him a, you know, like if you could make it. I don't know how you would do this with paint, but could you make it look like his spear kind of glows? That'd be cool.
Maybe. Doubtful, but maybe. I have some metallic colors. Where'd you go? Can I have them back, please?
Okay.
I can't reach them.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you like needed him like right now.
Well, he's all primed. So it's kind of hard to see. It looks like maybe he's got leather boots on. I have a leather color. I don't think it looks like leather, but that's what the color is. It's called leather brown. Let's try it out. Maybe it just needs a whole crap. I almost swore. What? Just needs a crap load of coats. This looks like yellow to me. Need a very small brush. Maybe this is leather in, well, I guess that's not, I don't know. Let's try it. Alright. Looks like they start here. So I was on Amazon today and something came into my feed for this like beginner set of, well, and instructions too. So it was like a beginner's guide to washes and, oh, I think I did already do all the, hold up, hold the phone. Beginner's guide to washes and shading, and it had a couple of figures in it. It was made by Reaper and had some paints and some brushes and a bunch of stuff, and it was $31, and it had some pretty decent reviews. of people that had tried it, and the whole thing was about teaching how to use all these different colors to, you know, make these great results. And the whole point of it was, you know, to learn how to layer colors and apply it. And I guess it gave all these instructions on how to do it and stuff. Like, I don't feel like I need that much, but I looked at some of the pictures that some people had uploaded, and the results were varied, to be quite honest. It was, you know, there was some really, really beginner looking results, but there was some that looked pretty good, and who knows the level of you know, the level of the people that were using this product.
Well, beginners, right?
You can't, you know, you can't just assume. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I would venture to guess. But some of the results looked a little bit like, I mean, maybe they just had some natural talent and they just wanted to get into it, so they got this kit and applied, you know, skills that they already had to it.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting looking.
Buy it?
No. I mean, it was only $31, but I just felt like I didn't really love the figures that they had in there. I bought a Reaper miniature, kind of went out on a limb and bought this Reaper miniature that should be here in a few, maybe like next week. And I'm kind of nervous about it because it's a woman, it's a girl, and it's got, you know, she's got a face.
Things.
Well, a face. Faces are, I mean, human faces, elf faces, they have so much contour, and, you know, a face is a lot of colors, not just one color. And, I mean, on a face, you'll put, you know, someone who's got some kind of, you know, skill will put anywhere from 4 to 6 colors just on one face. And, you know, you start with like the face, a flesh color like this one. This is what I got for the base, but this would make somebody look dead. So then you've got to use, you know, the darker colors for the shading, and then you've got to use rose colors for the different parts of the face that need to look like you're a living person. And it's a lot. The best news is that the figure is really small. So to do that much on it is really, it's not going to require a ton, but I don't want to make her look like she's a dead creature.
All right. Well, it sounds like you already have a pretty good handle on what you're supposed to do, just executing it.
Yeah, it's just practicing. It's like the watercolor I did of Nicole. There's only 20 colors on her face, you know. It's the same principle.
Okay.
All right, well, I mean, that's a little green for what I feel like leather should look like, but maybe more.
Maybe it changes as it dries.
I don't know, maybe it needs to change as it gets, as you put more layers on it. I don't know. There's a reason why they said it was the color of leather. I don't know.
I would think, yeah.
Well, let's see here. That's leather. I could base in his face, I guess, since I have this, like, face color right here. His face is so tiny.
The figure is tiny.
Yeah, it is really small. can't even really tell where his face begins and where it ends.
That's a weird feature for a face.
Like, I feel like that's his nose. Maybe. He has a lizard on his head.
He has a lizard on his head?
Yeah, he's a lizard head. He's a lizard hat.
Oh, like, I thought you meant like a little lizard, like, sitting on his head.
No, you know what? It's a snake. And there's also the snake on the sword. So he's a lizard guy.
So he's a serpent.
What is his name? What is he called?
He's Nolzur's. Oh, Marcus Miniatures. That's not it. It doesn't actually say.
No.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm gonna call him the Lizard King. I don't know.
Is he John Travolta?
What?
He's not the Lizard King. It's the guy from The Doors. I forget what his name is. He called himself the Lizard King.
Right. That's.
You should know you were alive then.
Well, there's probably a lot of things I should know about, you know.
No, we're too young for The Doors. I mean, I think we were technically alive around then, but like we were very young.
All right. Put too much wash in this paint, so it's not actually. I like The Doors. I don't know any of their lore or anything about them at all, but I like their music.
Okay.
At least I used to. I haven't listened to it for a long time. You know, tastes change
Yeah, they certainly
as you
do.
get older. Some of the music I listened to from when I was in high school, I can't listen to anymore. And it's funny because I was letting my kids listen to some of the, you know, the 90s new wave stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because they were like, is this song ever gonna end? And I'm like, I look at the time, and like some of those songs are like 7-8 minutes long. And I'm like, you're right, it's a very long song. And I look at the length of some of the songs that they're listening to, and they must just have a really short attention span because they're like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes. I'm
Easier
like,
to write a short song.
maybe.
Less work goes into it.
It never bothered me when I was a teenager. The longer the better, especially if it was a good song to dance to, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's like, get it over with and get on to the next one. Okay. Because that's how art is.
Well, there's a difference between creating art, appreciating art, and then just consuming it.
Yeah, you're right. Consumers. Our children are consumers.
They really are.
Yeah.
Not their fault. They can't do anything for themselves yet. All they can do is consume.
Well, it's just what they've gotten used to also. All right. Okay. So this first layer of yellow, it ended up like a wash. I put too much water in it, so what I wanted was a base coat turned into a wash. Yay.
I assume you would do the wash at the end, right?
Not necessarily. It really just depends on what you're shooting for, but generally, yes. Some people only paint in washes and shadows. It's well, it can be a speedier way, but it's just a technique.
Interesting. Are you gonna try that one of these times?
Maybe when I get my own technique. When I figure out what technique I mean, I probably should, because maybe it's a good way, but I'm not really sure I would know. I feel like that's, I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I just feel like you're missing a lot of, potential to pull out the details and the contrast and colors and stuff if you're just doing it that way. That's I'm sure someone would argue with me, but I almost feel like that's just kind of a beginner way.
Well, I have no idea. So.
Depending on how many bottles of paint are in that Reaper thing, that might be a good deal just to get the paint, because to get Reaper figures and the paint, I think you would surpass $30 anyway.
Probably.
I mean, the Reaper miniatures are pretty nice. Thank you, sweetheart.
No problem.
You probably wrote that like 12 hours ago.
No, not long ago. 2 days.
I was watching this video, I don't remember when it was, last night or yesterday or something. This guy was painting this, I don't know, some kind of a little warrior guy. And he had a red rope loincloth. I mean, the rope was... Red rope. The rope was pretty robust. Like, it was decent. It wasn't just like some kind of flimsy-ass rope. But it was a rope, nonetheless, and it was a loincloth. And the guy was like, what do you think this loincloth is covering? And I'm like thinking, I mean, how could it cover anything? It's a rope. It's really weird. I mean, I feel like as a warrior, to be wearing a rope loincloth would be kind of embarrassing. You'd be like, yeah, that's all I've got to cover. All I got to do is wear a rope.
Just a single rope?
It had like it had gone around 3 times. So it was the width of 3. But still.
I'm picturing like a belt with like ropes hanging down.
No, it was a rope with ropes hanging down,
Huh.
basically.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty funny. And this was like, a decently sized warrior, for a miniature, of course, Okay. I'm not shaking today.
That's good.
So the whole I haven't eaten theory is, the whole I've been at work and stressed out is not. I just don't know what it is. Because I think that if I was going to be shaking, it would be today, not eating a lot, doing a tiny little figure. Feeling pretty decent.
Good, I'm glad.
I'm watching this program. It's one of those great courses.
Oh yeah.
You know, I like those great courses.
Yeah.
It's now called Wondrium, which is weird.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, they have a course on paganism.
Okay.
It's the history of paganism, which was interesting. The guy, the professor, he reminds me a lot of you in the very beginning, just like how he talks, how he introduces himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite a character. He I should let you watch it. I think you would appreciate it. And the intro is pretty quick. But I when I first started watching it, I was like, well, I hope he really defines the word pagan. Because we all know what that is, but it's derogatory.
No, it's not.
It is. It is.
Not.
He actually confirmed that it was a derogatory statement. It's not necessarily derogatory now the way we use it. It is the antithesis of Christianity, right? So it shouldn't be derogatory, except that Christians are the ones who, and so this is what I wanted to tell you, first of all. Christians are the ones who invented the phrase, and they invented it as a derogatory term because the breakdown of the word, what's that, what am I trying to say? The origin?
It's the etymology.
Yes, of the word, and I don't remember what language, but I'm sure it's pretty primitive. Could even be Latin, I don't know. Derives from the word country, and like poor country mouse kind of thing, you know? Like, oh, you're from the country, because Christianity, according to, you know, this professor, he's like, it was, you know, pretty much created in the city where there are, you know, city folk. And so the pagans are, you know, poor, uneducated folk there in the country. So, yeah, that's where it came from. And it was, the Christians were, you know, being like, well, you don't have a choice because you're just uneducated country folk with your pagan beliefs. So it was interesting. And you know, every culture has, not every culture, but most cultures have a basis in paganism from early times. And he started, you know, like the Bible, the creationism and all of that. He started with one of the stories of some of the gods, and I can't remember whose it was, but it was just one of the types. But he said at one point, he said, you know, these gods that we learn of in Greek mythology or Roman or whatever, he said they show their heads like in all sorts of different cultures. It's just, they're just called something different. And I remember you saying that to me. I don't really know a lot about mythological stuff. Like I took, you know, they in elementary school, I think they always touched on Greek mythology, because I think so much of, you know, if you didn't know anything about it, I think that you'd miss a lot in culture. So they touch on it, which I think is good. But he said, you know, it's a lot the same gods with different names.
Yeah. Well, because the gods are formed around the principle, you know, love, or war, or the harvest,
nature,
or whatever.
He said a lot of it is nature.
Yeah, and so, you know, these, you know, ancient cultures were not significantly different from each other. They, you know, until the advent of technology and all the bologna sandwiches that we do in our society, like, everybody did the same stuff.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said technology, you know, before technology, it was all just nature around us. So it was pretty easy to, you know, put a name on, you know, the wind.
Right.
He said now you just see it all on your tablet or whatever. But before all that, you know, all of this was around us. I don't know. It was pretty interesting how he put it. I really liked it. he's pretty engaging. I watched a different course, that course on art that I haven't quite finished, but um, he's literally like sitting in a classroom, and that's okay. Like, I like that. That's kind of why I am drawn to this, to the great courses or whatever, because that's what I want. I want the classroom experience. I want lectures and knowledge, and you know what I all the things I didn't learn in school. I'm ready for that now, presented in that way.
Wasn't it funny how, as an adult, you're like, I'm hungry for knowledge, when you've got so many other things you have to do, versus as a kid, we're like, you got nothing to do but learn.
Yeah.
Just learn. I don't want to learn. Learning is for idiots. Like, it's not. It pains me that you said that. Are you actually my child? I don't know anymore.
That's right. Well, I think it's a difference. It's different when you get to choose what you want to learn versus what you knew or what you know was available.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes a huge difference. Oops. I need lids for these little containers. I thought I had some, but I don't think I do. I'd be able to save a lot of my stuff if I... That's just gross. It's like sick. Mix some more. Oh. I've never heard of the gods he was telling a story about.
Which ones?
I couldn't even tell you one of the names.
What was the story about?
It was about some gods.
You are beautiful and unhelpful.
I know. It's the same old story, This guy gets offended and he eats this other god. I don't know. That's what happened.
Okay.
It was in the beginning there was oh, I can remember this. In the beginning there was the saltwater god and the freshwater god, and they had a child who actually was the strongest god.
Okay.
And they had another kid. But in the beginning he flashed the names of the first 3 or 4 gods, but then he took them off the screen. And I would have really liked to have, continue. I would have liked, I'm such a big picture person. I would have liked to have seen the flow chart of the gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Like, he mentioned so many that I lost track of what he was talking about. So that wasn't great.
I'm sorry.
Maybe that's when you take notes,
Yeah, if you were in class, I expect you would do it on your drive.
Yeah, I was. I still, I don't like. I just hate listening for the sake of listening. I want to understand, so I want to go back and take notes on it. I don't think that it's probably going to make the biggest difference if I understand this or not, but I want to know if I'm going to spend the time to learn it. I want to internalize it even a little bit, you know, be able to have a discussion with someone about it,
Yeah, of course.
you know. You haven't really learned it if you can't talk about it.
Makes sense to me. It seems like a lot. Yeah, it's like a huge amount. Why is this?
Oh, I've passed my string time. Are you hungry?
Yeah, sure. Why is this the thing that it is? We should have just stopped doing that.
This guy has snakes on his head.
80 pixels.
There's a snake on his head, and also snakes on his...
Boots?
No, that's a snake in my boot.
Oh.
He doesn't have a snake in his boot. He has snakes on his armor over his shoulders. And then I imagine the rest of this like upper armor is the same color. So I'm just going to make it all that same color. These look like snake eyes on the sides. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I would super make him a sun god, but like he's got snakes. And snakes aren't...
love the sun.
Snakes love the sun.
They do. They go out and they bask in the sun because they're cold-blooded. I mean, I'm really...
Are they thin-blooded too?
Only if they're named Amy.
Amy the snake and her thin blood. Oh, and there's some things right there, so I don't even know. I need to figure out where this ends and where it begins if I'm going to do this right. Crap. I did not do a very good job at getting rid of the... I feel like I spent quite a bit of time getting his seams off, but there just was more and more and more. I've got to do this one. Gosh, how did I miss that one? So blatant. And then there's this one too, which is dumb. Did I even do this guy? I don't even know if I did. I thought I did them all. I've already primed him too, so I gotta go back and prime him again. Dumb. Okay. Prime his little arms again. Little hands. Okay. Well, that's it for today, I guess.